Hello everyone, it's 76city here with MareonTheMoon, and today I'm going to explain to you Infantry. Infantry is undermined and people really think they're useless. Well, I completely disagree. Infantry can be very powerful, especially when used right. I mean, yeah, sure, you can do a little bit of spam and see where that takes you, but that's no fun. Infantry all have their special roles. Every infantry can do something special. For instance, the soldier. Everyone knows the soldier. He's one of your first units you start off with. He is the backbone of your infantry loadout. He literally just send in a bunch of them, and you can just keep a continuous assault going on with him. He does fairly decent damage compared to the creeps, up until they level up to about level 4. Next, we have the Sam. Sam is great for keeping Airmechs in line and keeping Airmechs away, while also dealing some good, decent ranged damage. They're good at that, especially when you're trying to cap a base or you're trying to defend a base. Airmechs are swarming in on you and you need some way to clear them out. Best go with Sams. Upon speaking about bases, say you need to capture a heavily armed base, but soldiers and SAMs are not just cutting it, and you need something that's gonna get in, that's gonna do damage from a distance. Well, that's where the shooter would come in, same as the Morty. Morty does great splash damage, because he lobs grenades into an area. And because of that, he can actually damage more than a couple of units at a time. The shooter, though, shoots from quite a distance, a safe distance, and usually can't be hit unless it's by another shooter. So, a bunch of shooters in a group would be very nice to eliminate a specific target, but the only downfall about them is how they have to stop and shoot, and they'll stop and shoot any enemy that comes within their range. Next, I'll explain the Butcher. The Butcher recently got a nerf, but he's still very useful. Say your enemy sends in a tank line. Well, you got an oncoming force coming after you, and since you're using infantry, you can't very well defend. So what are you going to do to counteract that? Well, best case scenario is send in Butchers. Because why? Because tanks are moving in a line very slowly, not in a group. So the Butchers would run in and just start attacking everything. Upon describing the Butcher, I'd have to go to the Assassin next. The Assassin is a great unit for setting up an ambush, especially at a base. Since they go invisible and camouflage themselves, enemy never will know where they're at. But they do a lot better in groups, as most all units do. Say an enemy Airmech tries to go to your main base and, front door you, and you just have a bunch of assassins waiting there for them. Boom, they uncloak and they beat them down. And by that time, if they don't immediately run, their ult's gonna be going down pretty quick, unless they're a heavily defended Airmech such as the Warthog. But that's a different story. Next would be the Jumper. The Jumper can replace the Sam in your loadout. And also, since he's slightly faster than the Sam, and he can jump out of harm's way, he's good for clearing out slightly defended areas, as also to assaulting Airmechs, considering he does also shoot 2 rockets. That being said, we'll move on to a couple of special units though. Special units being the Necro, the Flamer, the Runner, and the Boomer, and the Probe. And the Fixer. The Fixer is a really great unit. He's the patcher of the infantry, or Ratchet, whatever you want to call him. Point is, he's the medical unit, and if you bunker them at bases, then they'll keep healing each other, and they'll keep the base alive. So most assaults would be fairly weak against a bunch of Fixers at a base. So that's a great way to defend yourself from oncoming forces. Next, with the Necro, it revives dead units, or your team or their team. Now, say your enemy sends in a Devastator and, you're like, oh, what am I gonna do? Well, simple. You can easily beat down that Devastator, send in some Butchers, send in some Brutes, and just take it down, and once you kill it, get a Necro, you put him over there, and he resurrects it, and now it's on your side, and now you can send that Devastator back at your enemy, therefore making your army just that much more dangerous. Next, I'll describe the runner. Say you're trying to cap an outpost, and you need to get in there fast because your units are being watered down and weakened down. Well, you can send in runners to quickly rush in there and cap the base. It's not recommended to use them to defend, but they're fast. They run, they gotta go fast. Next will be the Flamer.
Sanic.
The Flamer could do about the same. Yes, exactly, Sanic. You must excel at relatively quick speeds. Next, the Flamer. The Flamer can also take the Morty's role, but they're better off in groups, as most units are. Since the Flamer deals close-up damage and also kind of sprays his flames around and burns stuff up, it makes him pretty good in groups and also in leading assaults. And finally, the Boomer. Boomer is the most overpowered of all infantry. Well, single use at least. He just set him down, let him go, and boom. They'll take down anything within a heartbeat. Just need a couple of them and you can easily eliminate an outpost within a few seconds. Or a heavily defended area, you just send in a bunch of boomers and they'll just blow the whole thing away quickly. And finally, my favorite unit of all, the Brute. He's the backbone of your backbone. He's the Goliath of infantry. Things get too heavy for you and you really need to push back, or you really just need to keep up the assault, get to level 5 and start sending in some of these bad boys, and the pressure's really on then. And because infantry is so cheap, they're so easily to be manufactured and put out on the field. So in turn, you're actually building faster than your opponent. Say your opponent has a fine Longhorn, which takes 9 seconds to build. Well, you have about 3 soldiers that take like 2 seconds to build. So it's only 6 seconds, and boom, you're up there capping all the bases, and with all the bases capped, your opponent will take domination damage. Infantry can be very tricky to master, but that's why we're here. We're gonna show you how well it would look, how well we would do it. The AI setting is the Ruthless to simulate the best of the best, best player. Not exactly recommended for PvP, but you can still do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Anyone can do it. Just gotta learn. Now, we're going to be doing Dust, since that's like one of the easiest maps, one of the most simple ones to get a grasp of. But one more thing before we get into it. It's crucial to choose an Airmech which you are very comfortable with, and also you can very well support your own army. My recommendation would be a Helix, Paladin, or the Warthog. The Saucer would be nice for abducting enemy units.
I enjoy Warthog.
Yes, the Warthog is a unit killer. He's powerhouse. Striker is kinda iffy, since he's usually my dogfighting and stuff like that. But I'm gonna stick with the Helix, because I love the Helix and the Warthog. So, that being said, you gotta get your pilot and your item. If you cannot get Carl, he's a Penny Arcade exclusive pilot. Next best thing would be to get Samson, because he has a unit resistance that counts for all units. And an item, well, if you can't get your combat boots, which those are Memorial Day exclusive, I would probably go for something like Total Biscuit's top hat for the unit build speed and credits earned, or Chimney Swift's tooth for the unit build speed, the Maracas, which is a Cinco de Mayo exclusive, plus 8 infantry move speed. Any item that would raise your building speed would be very nice for them, for this loadout. Alright, let's do this. Now, I did say Brute was the ultimate backbone, but because it is an ultimate, I'm going to be using the ultimate Brute. And you can't use ultimates in PvP, so, you know, better get used to using normal Brutes. I'm used to using both, but just because this is co-op and, you know, we can use ultimates here, I'm going to do that.
I'm going to cut while we load.
Alright. We're going to show you how this is going to work out. Now, I didn't say this before, but bot spawners, a nice item to use, a nice unit to use. Not that you have to, I personally do, to keep the amount of infantry on the battlefield at a very high number. Now, as the gameplay goes on, you'll start to notice the change in tide of the battlefield. If you watch the map, notice how all units pour in one location, because most infantry do not take order, they go straight for an outpost. So, if we lose though, I'll cry. It didn't work?
Aw, damn.
You died, and I
My
don't know
game
why,
froze
I don't know
when
how.
When I was, like, turning on the recording.
On a time of death, 420.
I know. I got a little bit of editing with the audio now because I didn't stop the audio recording when the video recording stopped.
I'm getting wrecked over here. Well, are you recording still? Recording it?
Coming in.
Alright. Now.
Yes, I am.
Enemies pushing back fairly hard. So we're gonna have to return the favor and push them back. Don't let Samson get away. Get him. Darn. That energy though.
I don't have any charge.
The poor warthog ran out of energy.
The only other issue I have with this is
he's the cause of global warming. Working on it. Going to send in soldiers.
We need to push.
Keep very close eye on the control of the map, and you'll see that it can change very quickly. Though your enemy's using tanks and whatnot, you're using infantry, so so some people automatically think that they got the upper hand. That's always hilarious. It's a great way to lure your enemies away.
Hello, Samson.
I'm not going to say it's a bad tactic, it actually works.
Oh gosh, I'm taking
They
shots.
are aimbots, what do you want from them?
I call aimbots. I call aimbots. He's like not missing at all though. Whoa, I just all of a sudden had huge speed.
Alright, so need to do some assault on that outpost. So I need to send in some mortars to counteract it. Just took out Go. Thank you. It's what I do.
Nice go.
Samson is not happy, he's trying to murder me. I'm not gonna let him. I'm gonna come back with missiles. Now, infantry only loadouts can be pretty Airmech reliant a lot of times. In a situation like this, you're gonna need to fight back a bit with your Airmech. Which is why I choose to use Helix, especially to get rid of enemy Airmechs. Helix is good at that. As I said before, it's a great way to lure your enemy away. Do a little damage to the base to be like, oh hey, what are you doing back there? And they'll go back there.
Especially these bots, they really like to come back.
So they're pushing very hard with their Airmechs. So I'm going to try to clear them away of SAMs. You will be avenged.
I'm probably going down.
1,000 nations of infantry will descend upon our enemies. Notice how they've yet to capture this base as well, because we have a pretty decent defense actually going here. But as I said, it can be Airmech reliant. The real pushback will come when you are able to use brutes. I am almost at that level. Now I am at that level to use brutes. Now the push really begins. And again, I am using ultimate
at the level to use brutes
just for the fun of it. They're going to push back whether the enemy likes it or not. But hey, if you're with your faction or with some friends and they allow ultimates, see, just like that, wrecked.
Both Airmechs were dead, by the way.
R-E-K-T. Rip in peace, enemy Airmechs. Eliminate all their socketed items.
I'm gonna backdoor while they're dead. That's what I'm doing.
You were caught in the act of vandalism.
Fleeing. You ain't never gonna catch me.
Down with the system. And Go is really gonna try hard to get us over here. She's not gonna get away from this. Go is down. Here comes Samson in his beautiful frontline warthog. My favorite warthog of all. He's gonna try to escape, but I'm not gonna let him. Ooh, yes, just got him. Thank you. Now take a look at the map currently right now. The units coming from the base are creeps. Those really do add a nice addition to your army, especially if they keep up in numbers. So your army's not totally hindered by sole lines of you spawning units. It's very nice to actually keep spawning units. But that was you. That was all you, man.
Nice kill, by the way.
Samson is always kill.
You also got Samson.
Don't worry.
I need to fall back.
I don't know how.
Oh,
they're ignoring it.
Wow.
Well,
we already lost this point.
That happens sometimes. The infantry can be neglective. I'm just gonna say that. Sometimes when a point is captured, sometimes they may forget about a recent point. But I think that's the only glitch infantry might actually have. I don't really know if it's glitch or not. I don't think I've captured a glitch. You think it's a glitch?
I don't entirely think it's a glitch anyways.
I don't know what to call it.
I said I don't think it's
They're just being
entirely a glitch
neglectful.
anyways. It might just be in their coding to just not care. Damn, I was on the way to backdoor and I was already intercepted.
Now that the enemy's being pushed back, I'm going to continue sending more brutes, but eventually I'm going to change to something else. More than likely butchers, keep the close line pressure. Even if the enemy doesn't have anything going on really, such as the tank assault, Sending in butchers can really change the tide of battle for your brutes. Butchers, sorry. Since butchers get into the front lines and do melee damage, that means that all the focus of fire will be on them. They'll be taking the fire for your brutes.
Both
Keep doing
mechs
it.
just kind of left
Can't
me
stop,
to
won't
continue
stop.
shooting at their stuff.
Now, look at the map again. You are doing a fair amount of damage.
And I'm also doing a fair amount of damage, too. Oh, Samson finally came to say hello.
Going to try to escape from me.
I'm probably gonna die
Is
here.
it?
Oh, Samson gave me some leeway to escape. Like, it was either me or him, and then he got up and flew to heal himself. And that just gave me the opportunity to escape.
Samson just stopped. I don't know why. He didn't make me shoot him. Sorry, I'm moving in on the enemy, so some creeps will be led into battle. This battle is even quickly changed to our side, in our favor. It's because the ultimate brutes.
Rather faster than I thought it would.
They always do this. That's why they're ultimates. Ultimates is best phone. Now, once all the bases are captured, a nice way to finish off your enemy or to keep up the pressure would be sending in mortars. Since they don't exactly hit things very well, but a direct hit will do a nice amount of damage. So once all the bases are captured, all the infantry are still gathering around, send in mortars. As you'll see, our dominance on the map literally became one little push right here in the front door. The enemy has a Goliath there, so just to counter it, which is necessary, I'm going to send in butchers. And try as hard as they may. At this point, this is the point of no return. This is the point of victory.
Rip Marin space. Time of death. Every day.
That face whenever you just sit there and watch this battle unravel, and they usually do. I got rampage. So, our assault is weakened slightly, but we can just simply
dash.
build a couple of units. Other reason as to why I use the Helix, because Helix is one of Helix's ability. He gets a unit build speed increase as the striker. So you could be building soldiers within seconds, like 1 second. About the fastest I've ever built a soldier was 1.9 seconds. Now that's a Alright. Would you do the honors of sending in butchers?
I set units in the back.
They're trying one more time to push back. And I'm going to counter with ultimate brutes, while you counter with butchers. You building what?
Not building the butchers, it's building soldiers. Damn. I just realized I wasn't building butchers,
And we won.
building soldiers.
See, now
Whatever,
if you
we
can't
won.
kill your enemy directly with your infantry, the dominance of the wolf will definitely get your enemy. That was infantry explained by Seven6cities and MareonTheMoon. Thanks for watching.